Hello everybody, and welcome again to our beautiful tiki hut here in gorgeous weather, South Florida. A little bit breezy today, but we have a lot of interesting things to talk about. First of all, a public service announcement for Republicans and conservative media. Please do not use the words cave or folding or similar words when describing what the Democrats did that crossed the aisle to help us with a continuing resolution to get the government funded again. What they did was courageous. And the conservative media and all Republicans need to thank them for their courage and to thank them for supporting our country. Allow the Democrats to go ahead and use the word cave, okay? So about the Hungry Strike for America status, I did not lose a pound. It was my wedding anniversary this weekend, and my wife and I went back to where we had our honeymoon, Key West, Florida. Here's a photo of me standing by the famous southernmost spot. Two things to add here. First, this is not the traditional southernmost point location. That is being maintained, so they moved that buoy here temporarily. And the second thing is, my wife thinks I look a lot better than before I started this Hungry Strike for America. I'm thinking about coming up with just a focus video on my Hungry Strike for America, including my workout regimen. Stay tuned. We had a great time in Key West, did a lot of walking, did a lot of eating. When we came back, we stopped off at Papa Joe's, about 75 miles outside of Key West. Here's a picture from the Papa Joe's waterfront website. Beautiful place. And we had smash burger and I had onion rings. I gotta tell you, I was looking forward to those onion rings. So anyway, I did not lose a pound, but we had a great time. And as I said when I started the Hungry Strike for America, to lose 50 pounds by the end of October in 2026. It was to get me down to a healthy weight, slowly enough to be a healthy way of doing it. I also wanted to be able to do anything I wanted to do with regard to family and friends. And therefore, we had a great wedding anniversary weekend. That's the Hungry Strike for America update. With regard to redistricting, one big change, Kansas has decided not to. So Kansas, which was going to possibly give the Republicans one more seat in the House, is not doing it. But an update on Virginia, their state legislature did pass the bill that would allow them to continue the process of possibly and probably redistricting in Virginia next year. The first Republican state, Alabama, will result in probably 2 seats for the Republicans. Florida probably result in at least 2 seats for Republicans, probably more, but let's just go with 2. Indiana, 1 seat for Republicans. Louisiana, 2 seats for Republicans. Missouri, 1 seat for Republicans. North Carolina, 1 seat for Republicans. Ohio, probably 2 seats for Republicans. Texas, my information is they expect 5 seats for the Republicans in Texas. That's it for the Republicans. 16 seats. That's pretty good, but now let's go to the Democrat side. California, either 4 or 5, depending on how you look at it. So let's be conservative, which is what we are. And we'll go with 5 for the California Democrats. 1 or 2 in Illinois. Now, it's not guaranteed they're going to redistrict, but once again, to be good conservatives, we'll assume that they will redistrict in Illinois, and we'll assume they get 2. Maryland, not positive yet, but I think they will. They'll pick up 1 seat. That's all they can pick up. There's only 1 Republican House seat right now in Maryland. In Utah, the latest shenanigans in the court system is that there will be 1 more Democrat House seat. Now, I don't think that's all done, but let's just assume that, once again, being good conservatives. And then the last state, Virginia, they will be gaining 2 for the Democrats. So that's a total of 11 for the Democrats. A little bit different than I had thought before, but you know, Virginia has joined the fray. 11 for the Democrats, 16 for the Republicans. So conservatively, at least 5 seats for the Republicans in the House. Not bad, but you know what? Could be more because of redistricting efforts, such as in Florida, and it could be more because as you gerrymander, I think a good thing happens. You spread out all the different voting groups across the states more evenly. There's some more opportunity for compromise to getting more moderate people being elected. You know what? I think more evenly split House districts is a better way of running our country. Not where you put all the Republicans in one district and all the Democrats in another district. So now let's talk about the senators that crossed the aisle to support the continuing resolution. We all know Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania. We also know Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. She's always been in support of the continuing resolution. The other senator from Nevada also joined her in this last vote. Senator Jackie Rosen. Angus King from Maine. Senator King, the former governor, now senator, he joined the continuing resolution group, and he's always been part of it, along with Senator Fetterman and Senator Cortez Masto. So thank you, Senator King. Tim Kaine from Virginia. Senator Kaine obviously had a lot good reason to support the continuing resolution because of all the federal workers in Virginia. Don't agree with a lot of stuff that you do or say, but that I appreciate. Jean Shaheen. I always thought Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire was going to join the group and vote for the continuing resolution, which she did, as well as the other senator from New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan. Hope I said her name correctly. And the real surprise to me was when Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois supported the continuing resolution. He is the Senate Minority Whip and the number 2 senator for the Democrat Party. So that was 8 senators from the Democrat Party. Gotta note that Senator Rand Paul did not vote along with the Republicans. Now, the reason why he did it is because he's a fiscal hawk. But you know what? We needed to get this resolution approved. So, not good, Senator Rand Paul. Wish you had joined the group. Next, let's go over the House Democrats that crossed the aisle to support the continuing resolution. Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas, Congressman Don Davis of North Carolina. He is a graduate of the Air Force Academy. He was an Air Force officer. Adam Gray of California. Jared Golden of Maine. Now, we've talked about him before. He's always supported the continuing resolution. He was the lone Democrat the first run. He's announced his retirement. He's a very decent fellow. As I said in a previous video, I really hope he becomes a Republican. Next, we have Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp Perez, Washington State. Yep, those are parrots flying over. The last congressman is Tom Suozzi from Glen Cove, New York. He crossed the aisle. Thank you very much, Mr. Suozzi. By the way, Tom Suozzi's district is perfectly split, 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. Interestingly, the other Congress people that voted for the continuing resolution from the Democrat Party are also in slightly leaning Republican districts. Smart move on their parts to vote for the resolution. If you want to join the Republican Party, or go independent, this would be a great time to do it. And what about the 2 Republicans that voted with the Democrats to not support the continuing resolution? First, we have Congressman Tom Massie, who we know is very libertarian, a fiscal hawk, and basically doesn't vote with the Republicans on almost anything. So Congressman Massie did not vote for the continuing resolution, as we all expected him not to vote for it. The other Republican that didn't vote for the continuing resolution was from Indiana, Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. She was born in the Ukraine. She's an immigrant. She is avowedly against Russia. A lot of good Republican attributes, and she's a fiscal hawk. I appreciate that. I didn't like the fact that she voted against the continuing resolution. I don't know what her real motivation was, if it was different than just being a fiscal hawk. So those are the 2 Republicans. They consider themselves fiscal hawk, but they are Republicans. And for this one, I would have thunk that they would have gone and voted for the continuing resolution, just like I would have thought that Senator Rand Paul would have done it also. And the last segment for this video deals with any potential negotiations that will be occurring in the Senate and or the House regarding Obamacare subsidies being extended. You know, that's the thing that Thune said were going to be discussed by mid-December in the Senate. I got no problem with the discussion, but the bottom line is those subsidies were supposed to go away years ago. They got extended again until December of this year. It's a trap, because the Democrats will be setting up a trap associated with the 2026 elections using Obamacare subsidies to basically bribe people to vote for them. You know, we need to be smart and go into the negotiations knowing that. I actually, jokingly maybe, but maybe not so jokingly, think that Senator Rand Paul should be part of the negotiation team, and maybe Tom Massie in the House, as well as Victoria Spartz. Because I think that if they could control themselves from being anti-team, they could participate in a way to help be devil's advocates and help steer the thing into the proper way. Now, I'm sure that some other Republicans in the House and the Senate can come up with great things that we can get in return for any kind of transition support that we do give, if we did give any. But one example I could think of is maybe the Democrats would agree to not do any more shutdowns of the government in any way whatsoever for the rest of this fiscal year. How about the rest of the Trump administration? How about that the Democrats support the Republicans in passing a bill that states that from now on, if there's any shutdown that occurs, congressmen and senators will not get paid, and their staffs will not get paid. And they don't get any back pay. No back pay after the government is started back up. Do your freaking job. And the last thing is maybe get the Democrats to support a timely schedule that the Republicans need to come up with about when you won't go home if certain milestones aren't met with coming up with the annual budget. For example, you don't go home in August for your 4 or 5 week vacation unless things are all set for the next year to go from the House to the Senate. House doesn't go home until all their bills are put together for the budgets. Squirrel just ran underneath my feet. I think that means it's time for me to go. So God bless you. God bless President Trump and his administration. And God bless, there was the squirrel. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you for watching this. Any comments would be great. Liking and subscribing would be a bonus. Thank you for your time and your interest. Till next week. Goodbye.